So I'm a talent agent. I do the hard work that nobody wants to do. I have to tell these kids, desperate for their big shot at fame in romance novels, that their characters are probably gonna die. You don't get great parts just starting out. They come to me with their hopes and dreams, and I have to tell them the bad news. I'm set to play a character that everyone hates. You're gonna die.
There's a ship of women coming to my alien colony, and I get to be one of the female aliens.
Is your character ages 22 to 35?
Yes.
You're already dead.
I get to play a super sweet character. I'm the mother of the heroine.
What about the hero's mother?
Oh, they said I could be the mother of the hero too.
It doesn't matter. You're dead before the prologue.
I get to be one of the students at Biscayeth War College.
Does your character have a name?
Yes, I have a name.
Well, that's a start. What's your character's name?
John.
You're gonna die. Hi, my name's B. Welcome to my channel.
Mama needs to read romance and take off this mustache because I have to pick up my daughter at preschool in a few minutes, and I just realized I did not think this through. This is gonna hurt. Wish me luck. I just love a good book haul, and this one is no exception. I've got mostly contemporary, but also some fantasy books to share with you today. I get to celebrate books I've gotten from my friends, books I got at a used bookstore, as well as books I paid full price for. I know, I'm shocked. I just had to do it. So without further ado, let's get to it. I want to start by thanking my good friends for books they got me from my wish list. I got this one, The Astronaut and the Star by Jen Comfort from the fabulous Steph of Novelty Corner. I love Steph's vlogs, especially. I love seeing life in Australia. It's so cool. And she always has the best recommendations too. And of course, we're always gushing together about hockey romance. Common love. She gave this to me as a thanks for doing a Vlogmas collab. It was so much fun, and I am so excited to have this book. I actually fell in love with Jen Comfort last year when I read her Phantom of the Opera retelling. Do you hear that sound? My husband is making a smoothie. It's going to take an hour, so I'm just going to talk through it. Fell in love with Jen Comfort with this book. So excited to read the first book in her backlist thanks to the fabulous Steph. This is about a woman who is an astronaut. She unfortunately does not get the mission that she's hoping for. Instead, they actually pair her up with an actor who's trying to understand what it's truly like to be an astronaut for a big part in an upcoming film. The two of them wind up training together in his own personal astronaut camp, and sparks fly. It looks like so much fun and so different, and I loved Jen Comfort's other book, so I cannot wait to dive into this one. You know, it's so funny. I got Steph a book too, and this is the book that I got Steph, but I got this one from Christy of Christy Reads a Lot because this was on my wish list too. I think everybody I know, this is one of their very favorite books. It's a hockey romance, although our guy isn't a hockey player currently. He's a chef, and he meets a woman who is an actress. Both of them are nursing wounds for different reasons, and they wind up together at this gorgeous estate in California, and they fall so hard for one another. This was so spicy. I love Kristen Callahan's writing so much, and I can't believe I own an actual copy. Christy, you're amazing. She really is amazing. I love all of her rec videos. Everybody says if you want a good channel for recommendations, it's Christy, because nobody reads as many books as Christy does, and there's that blender again. Anyway, every time I watch her channel, I always end up adding to my TBR. I recently fell in love with B.K. Borison. Thanks to Joanna of XO Joe, I now have In the Weeds, so I own all 3 of the books that have been published so far. I can't wait to read them. I loved Love Light Farms so much, and I know that each of the books represents one season, so I'm waiting until that particular season. This is a summer book, so I'm going to be reading it this summer. Business Casual, which comes out this summer, is actually a fall book. So anyway, I just can't wait to get through all of them, and I just have to thank Joanna. She's my, as I always say, fantasy romance guru. I love her so much. We've buddy read together. We've done so many lives together, and I just love hearing Joanna talk. There's nobody who thinks about books like Joanna. She's so deep. I had the immense pleasure of hanging out with Rachel of Rachel Reads and Sings last year for her Tessa Dare read along. It was one of the highlights of the entire year for me. When she sent this to me kind of as a thank you at the end of the year, I just died. This was the only Allie Hazelwood that I did not own because I haven't picked it up in a used bookstore or a library sale. So I was so excited to have it. This I gave 4.5 stars, or 4.75 actually, because it was near perfection, except he's almost too much. in terms of how much he loves her, because he really loves her. If you love that, you will love this. And oh my gosh, it's so good. So I'm so excited that I actually get to own a copy. Oh, Rachel, you're just the best. I love your vlogs. I love your voice. I love following you on Instagram just as much as YouTube. You're one of my favorite Instagrammers, honestly. I'm very excited to own this. Speaking of read-alongs and readathons, I also had the pleasure of hanging with Hannah Blackwell with her incredible Once Upon a Readathon this past January. It was so cool, so much fun, and I was so grateful that Hannah got me this. Oh my gosh, it's the hardback Prince of Prohibition. I am totally obsessed with this, and she knows it. I actually own the paperback, but I really still wanted the hardback, so I put it on my wish list. Thanks to Hannah, now I'm realizing my dream of The Great Gatsby meets ACOTAR. It's so good, and I cannot wait to read the second book in the series, The Veil of Violence, which is out now, but I'm waiting to read it until I can listen to it, which I think it comes out in May, because I love the narrator. Oh my gosh, she's incredible. It includes a really cool map of Manhattan. It takes place in New York City, by the way, with some gorgeous illustrations as well. I'm just so thankful. Hannah Blackwell is the coolest. She's introduced me to so many books and people that I would never have met otherwise. She's enhanced my life so much, and I've loved our little chats too. So thanks, Hannah. Recently, I hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, which was such a thrill. I said this before and I'll say it again. Thank you so much if you have subscribed to me. You're showing YouTube that my channel has value, and I cannot thank you enough. And if you haven't subscribed, that's fine too. I'm just happy to share my bookish joy with you. And speaking of getting 2,000 subscribers, I want to thank Laura, one of my favorite online friends, who got me Bright Like Wildfire. I adore this cover so much, and I loved the book. I love Juliet Krause, though I know I've told you before, she's a little much for me sometimes, but still, the intensity and the passion and the love is everything, and I love it so much. Even the back, it's beautiful. I'm just so excited to own this small town romance. It's the first book in the Beauville series, featuring two people that are trying not to fall for one another as they are preparing for a play together. Oh, it's so yummy. Oh, so delicious. And I'm so thankful. Laura, you're the best. I'm also completely obsessed with Halfling by S.E. Wendell. If you've watched my channel for any length of time since like December, you know I'm totally obsessed with S.E. Wendell and her writing. It's atmospheric, it's beautiful, it's all about honor and sacrifice, and it just takes me back to like the Lord of the Rings Hobbit days. Oh, it's just so good. The spice is great. The pining is tremendous. This features a half orc, half human, and the human woman who he worships like none other. I love it so much. The front is gorgeous and the back is gorgeous. Have you seen the next book in the series? This cover was just revealed. I gotta get this on my wish list as soon as it gets on Amazon. But I'll even show you, look how cute. This is his little raccoon that he rescues, which makes him even more adorable, if that's possible. And there's pictures of our little raccoon buddy throughout. How darling. It is my goal in life to read all of S.E. Wendell's backlist before jumping into the books that she's getting published this year. I know I mentioned Ironling, but we also have Heart Song, which is coming out in March. I cannot wait. Okay, so I just mentioned an S.E. Wendell, which brings me to my next segment, books I bought for myself, full price. I know, I'm shocked as well. I bought myself Airy, which is the first book of the Broken Wings duet. I'm reading the second book, Haven, right now, and I ordered it, and it hasn't come yet. Okay, so it's later the same day, and I just got home, and I had 2 packages, so I'm including this. Time to Shine. I love this book so much. I put it on my wish list recently. I don't know who gave it to me, though. It doesn't say the name. I even did the whole QR code scanner, and it says I have a gift, but who got this for me? Oh my gosh, you're so amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have this. I had no idea it was coming. What a fun surprise. By the way, this is a gorgeous hockey romance. It's one of the most refreshing, sweet, and maybe a little too spicy sometimes reads I've ever read. I enjoyed it so very much. And I got Haven, which I told you already about. I can't tell you too much about it because I don't want to give anything away from the first book, Airy. I'm so excited. It's so beautiful. So anyway, I'm just so excited. What a lovely, lovely surprise to come home and find these 2 books. So I need to know who the mystery person is who is so sweet and dear and got me this. Thank you. Anyway, okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Okay, it's even later. It's the following day. I'm still editing this very video that you're watching right now, but this just came in the mail, so I had to include it. Now I have paranormal romance included in this video as well. Hooray. And it's all thanks to Amina. Amina, you know I love you. She's one of my favorite online friends. I love all that she has to say about books. She's always so insightful, and I love getting to chat with her on Discord, on the lives, or just in the comments. And she sent me a gift card through Amazon, which I have been so excited to use. I've gotten several books thanks to the gift card, and this is the last one that finally came. Bride by Ali Hazelwood. It's a novel about an arranged marriage between a vampire and a werewolf shifter, and it is very interesting. I love Ali Hazelwood's sense of humor and the way she twists a plot, so I'm really excited to own this, and now I have all of the Ali Hazelwoods, and I love the moon especially. I think that's so cool. Oh, and the eyes of the werewolf. Oh, I just noticed that. How fun! So Amina, you're amazing, and I have to include this as well. Amina is from France, and the gift card she sent me is from Amazon France. And so I'm sure I could have figured out how to use it in English in America. I wound up surfing Amazon France in French for a while, which was very interesting. Wish I spoke and read French for that. That was so fun. Okay, now back to your regularly scheduled programming. But anyway, how gorgeous is this? We have Belle. He's an avian, which is like a human with bird-like wings. And Lena, who is a knight. She is so honorable, but something she does that was the right thing to do winds her up in trouble. She has to become a warden at this prison up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere in the dead of winter. And she realizes she only has one prisoner. They're enemies, but little by little, they recognize the beauty in each other's hearts. Does that sound cliche? I don't care. It's true. Anyway, it's just so fabulous. I cannot wait to finish Haven, except then it'll be over. But it's so good, and I'm so excited. And I know I talked enough about S.E. Wendell, so we're going to move on. Let's talk about Ruby Dixon's Ice Planet Barbarians, book 7. She's slowly releasing all of the new covers for this incredible series. I love alien romance, and I love this cover especially because if you're familiar with this, our heroine is deaf, and she's signing I love you. Did you just get goosebumps? Because yes, I did. Again, I already knew this, and I still got goosebumps, and I'm so excited to own yet another copy. The only thing that's kind of a bummer, though, is that this is the first book of the 7 that's been released that didn't have a bonus honeymoon novella or like a short story included. So I was a little sad about that. It does have an author's note updating us on things, but still, I was really hoping for Ruby Dixon to write a special honeymoon novella for these guys because she's done it for everybody else. And I love the spine and I love the back. We got a little spaceship there. So anyway, it's just beautiful and I'm so thrilled to have it as part of my collection. Okay, so here's one I actually bought at Walmart because randomly I was at Walmart. I saw this right after I had watched one of Rachel Reads and Sings Again video, and she was talking about The Nanny and just how good it was and how surprised she was by the level of spice, the intensity, the emotion for a book with a cover like this. She did not expect it at all, so it kind of stuck in my head, and then I saw it at Walmart. I had to get it. I paid full price, but okay, I left the sticker on, and here's the reason. It says American Psycho on it, which, what? No, I've just read the back. This is intense. Whoa! He's referred to as a DILF, which if you don't know what that means, it just means he's a dad and women find him attractive. Let's just say that. And she has an OnlyFans page, which I don't know a lot about OnlyFans, but from what I gather, it might be a little scandalous. Anyway, apparently he's like her biggest fan. He also says she's the only woman who's able to be his nanny of his child. Makes me kind of wonder if he's being honest about that or if it's because he recognizes her from her OnlyFans page. This is gonna be really interesting. I don't know. We'll see. What'd you get me into, Rachel? Oh boy. Well, now I need to read it. Do you hear this blender? Do you see what I'm talking about? It takes him 10 years to make a smoothie. How long should it take to make a smoothie? All right, moving on. So in December, it was my birthday, and I took myself to Barnes & Noble, and I bought myself 2 books. Full price. I know I have become a rebel. Let's all gasp together. I didn't own any of the Chloe Lease Wilmot sisters books. I know normally... This is why I didn't wait to film, because it would have taken 10 years. Anyway. The smoothie. That better be a good smoothie. Anyway, so obviously I'm constantly talking about the Bergman Brothers series on my channel. I love it so much, but we got to make sure the Wilmot sisters get love too. I know there's got to be at least one more book down the pipe for this one because there's one more Wilmot sister that I know of. These two are just heaven. We have two heroes. This one was definitely enemies to lovers, which was a little intense for me at first. They really hate each other, but oh my gosh, once they get going, he worships her. I loved it so much. And these we've got opposites attract, which was so much fun too. As always with Chloe Leese, we've got the trademark unconditional love, finding people where they are at and just loving them through whatever things they have. Everyone is worthy of love no matter what they've got going on. This gal has autism and this gal has ADHD, and I loved the representation. Both of my boys have autism, so I kind of know a lot about that already. In fact, this one had some strategies that she uses to really thrive with her autism that gave me some ideas that I can use with my boys, which was like, oh, that's great. This was neat because I don't know a whole lot about ADHD, and I feel like I really got a better understanding of what life is like with ADHD through this novel. This is why I love Chloe Leese. Building empathy, building compassion until the next Wilmot Sisters book comes out. That's all I have to say about this series. It's not all gold, people. I don't know. Let's jump from books I paid full price to two books I paid nothing for. I am super excited. Gabriela Gomez. This is the next best fling featuring a heroine who is plus size and a librarian. Love it so much. I love a curvy gal. I applied for this arc because I too identify as a curvy gal, and I was very excited when they gave it to me. I cannot wait to read this. It comes out in July, and I can't believe I already have a copy. The two of them are both in love with the upcoming groom and bride in a wedding, and so they try to fake date just to sort of throw the groom and bride off the scent of the fact that they have these crushes that they're trying to get over. And while they're trying to get over their crushes, they wind up really starting to fall for one another. It sounds so fun, and I can't wait. It's gonna be amazing. I can tell. Forever Publishing is really talking about this a lot on Instagram, so I know it is going to be amazing. Now I want to talk to you about some books I got at a recent book hunt. These little babies. We're going to talk about them right now. Of course. I was so excited when I found this at a used bookstore the other day because when I did my cozy mystery vlog not too long ago, I was looking at the second book in the series, and many of you actually mentioned to me that I really needed to start with the first book to really appreciate it, and then I bumped right into it. It's historical cozy mystery, which sounds so cool. We have an American widow ready to start the season, only to discover that her husband didn't die of natural causes. He was murdered. And an anonymous letter comes to the police and says that she's the murderer. Well, Mr. Hazelton, who it looks like might be a love interest in this book, knows the whole story. The two of them work together to try to figure out who the actual killer is and why she's getting framed for murder. It sounds really cool. And I know it's good because you guys have told me already. So I'm really excited to own this and read it. Okay, so I love Soraya Wilson. She's the queen of sweet closed door romances. I don't think they even get to needing a door, honestly, but it's still super spicy and steamy just through kissing scenes and the intense chemistry that they have. And I also love the fact that they actually marked it down. It's $9.99 when I bought it. It was originally $11.99. So yes, I don't know what a cosmetic chemist is. But that's what our heroine is, and she has fallen deeply in love with her boss, which is a problem. Interestingly, she decides that the only way to get her boss's attention is by fake dating his brother. How long does it take to make a smoothie? I'm sorry. I'm gonna call this the smoothie book haul. Anyway, surprise, surprise, the fake dating of our heroine and the brother lead to real feelings. I love the last two sentences. Blame it on chemistry. It's unpredictable, exciting, and occasionally combustible. If Anna and Marco are really falling in love, who are they to argue with science? You know, I try not to read the summaries to you, but I gotta do it for this book, Rude Awakenings of a Jane Austen Addict. This looks so good. Jane Mansfield has long wished to escape the confines of life as a gentleman's daughter in 1813 England, but awakening in the urban madness of 21st century LA in the body of Courtney Stone is not what she had in mind. With no knowledge of Courtney's life, let alone her world, Jane is in over her head. What is Jane to make of carriages that run without horses, lights that glow without candles, and people who talk to the air while holding a small object against their ears? You see what I put up with? Granted, she does enjoy the shiny glass box in which tiny people act out her favorite book, Pride and Prejudice, and she savors her first taste of privacy, independence, even the chance to earn her own money. But when Courtney's romantic entanglements become her own, Jane realizes that the machines of the 21st century are much easier to master than its rules of love. Can a girl from Regency England survive in a world in which flirting and kissing and even the sensual act raise no matrimonial expectations? This is so interesting, I had to grab it. And to close out this video, I'm going to take you on a journey that may be boring and not interesting at all, but I feel like it is, so we're gonna do it. These are the brand new prints of the classic, beloved Elle Kennedy Off-Campus series. I found them recently, most of them, in a used bookstore. I got them for a deal. Anyway, but it was missing book 2. Thanks to Kristen Lee, who helped me. She did so much research. I don't know why it never occurred to me to look at a store like Barnes & Noble, for example, but in my mind, it was either Amazon or a used bookstore, nothing else. And Amazon only sold them as a set. And I certainly wasn't going to buy the whole set again just to get book 2. But Kristen told me that guess what? You can buy them individually at Barnes & Noble. So I went to Barnes & Noble, I found it, and if you look at this picture, you can see they only had 2 other books in the series. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit more about these gorgeous books. All of these books, interestingly too, have blue sprayed edges. I like to think of it like the ice because they're hockey romances. I mean, I have no idea if that's what they were thinking, but that's what I'm thinking. We start with The Deal. We have Garrett and Hannah. This was the one that I fell in love with. It's the only one that I read before I bought any of the books in this series. He begs her to tutor him, and then he winds up tutoring her and enjoying romance, shall we say. It's so good. Book 2, The Mistake. I almost thought it might have been a mistake to read it because I didn't really love the romance too much between Logan and Grace. He loves to play the field and then decides that he's going to try with her until he admits to her that he loves someone else, and then he decides, oh no, it was a mistake. So he has to prove his love to her. It was that. I'm currently in the middle of the score. This one also is very interesting. We got a lot of spice, not quite as much emotion. He's been with pretty much everybody on campus, and he was with her while she was trying to get over her ex-boyfriend, and he now can't get over her. So the two of them are trying to get one another out of their system currently. We'll see what happens. This one looks really sweet, and I love the cover too. I have a feeling that Tucker is going to prove maybe to be our sweetie and not just our guy who likes to hang out with all of the girls on campus. Tucker and Sabrina. I don't know too much else about this, and I don't want to know yet. I want to go in blind. So it's a college romance, hockey, cute, hopefully. We'll see. And then book 5 is really cool. It's The Legacy, which has stories featuring all of the couples in the first 4 books, talking about what happens later on down the line. So I'm really excited to try this one out too. And the goal is to read all of these by the end of February. See what I did there? Yeah, I'm not impressed either. Well, those were my books. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you thought. I know we'd all love to know. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying whatever books you're reading, whether you bought them new, used, or something else. Until next time, thanks so much. Take care. Bye.